9 celebrities who gave their kids food-inspired names. It sounded incredibly sweet, and it painted such a beautiful and vivid picture in my mind. When you think about celebrity babies and the names chosen for them, Hollywood's most famous stars have definitely earned a reputation for selecting names that are distinctly unconventional and memorable for their little ones. While these extraordinary and creative names typically hold deep personal significance for these celebrated parents, they frequently become the subject of widespread media attention and public discussion. Just like when Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin chose to name their daughter Apple back in the early 2000s, sparking conversations around the world. And here's the exciting part. Apple is no longer standing alone as the only celebrity child with a food-inspired name. In fact, numerous other famous personalities have enthusiastically embraced this charming trend, adding their own delicious twist to baby naming. One thing is absolutely certain. These baby names are not just unique. They're incredibly sweet, wonderfully creative, and sometimes surprisingly meaningful. Before we dive into this delicious list, make sure you stick around until the very end because some of these name stories will absolutely blow your mind. You won't believe the heartwarming and touching reasons behind some of these choices. And trust me, number 6 has a backstory that's so perfect, it'll make you smile. Plus, we've saved one of the most famous chefs in the world for last, and his naming strategy might just surprise you. So grab your favorite snack and let's explore these flavorful celebrity baby names together. Now, let's discover what these famous stars decided to call their children. Number 1. Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin. Gwyneth Paltrow and her former husband, Coldplay frontman Chris Martin, completely dominated the headlines and sparked countless conversations when they made the bold decision to name their baby after a piece of fruit. When their beautiful daughter arrived into the world in 2004, they bestowed upon her the distinctive and memorable name Apple. At that time, Gwyneth openly admitted that she was genuinely taken aback and somewhat surprised by all the controversy and intense debate that erupted surrounding their chosen name, especially because to her, it simply sounded so incredibly sweet and endearing. When we first discovered we were pregnant, her daddy turned to me and said, "If it's a girl, I genuinely think her name should be Apple." It sounded so wonderfully sweet to me, and it conjured up such a lovely and serene picture in my imagination, you know? Apples are so delightfully sweet, and they're wholesome and pure, and there's even biblical significance to them. I just genuinely thought it sounded absolutely lovely and perfect, she explained candidly during her appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Number 2. Drew Barrymore and Will Koppelman. Drew Barrymore and her ex-husband Will Koppelman had their hearts completely set on their daughter being named Olive remarkably early on in the pregnancy journey. When Drew was merely a few months pregnant, they were reading about fetal development and learned that their precious baby was approximately the size of an olive at that stage. And that sweet, simple name immediately stuck with them and never left their minds. I was reading this informative book with my husband about pregnancy development. I was just 3 months pregnant at the time, and the book said, "Your baby is currently the size of an olive." And that was genuinely it for us. The decision was made right then and there, she shared enthusiastically on The Ellen Show. We had been workshopping and considering a few different name options, going back and forth, and then once that light was shed on this particular name, once we heard Olive, there was simply no turning back. It felt absolutely perfect and meant to be. Number 3. Sadie Robertson and Christian Huff. Duck Dynasty star Sadie Robertson and her loving husband Christian Huff chose to name their beautiful first daughter Honey, a meaningful and deliberate reference to honeycomb as it's mentioned throughout the Bible. Christian went on to explain that very early on in their romantic relationship, the word and concept of honey kept appearing and popping up in their lives quite often, and it genuinely felt like a divine sign pointing them in a specific direction. The name came directly from Proverbs 16:24, where it beautifully says, "Gracious words are like honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones." Christian shared openly on the Unashamed with Phil and Jace Robertson podcast. When I look back in hindsight, it's actually quite funny and almost serendipitous. Me and Sadie's very first date that we went on in Nashville, or Franklin to be more precise, the restaurant we chose happened to be called Tupelo Honey. Then later, when we were actively dating and spending more time together, when I was visiting up there, she wanted to participate in one of those pottery painting activities where you can create and make your own pottery piece. And she ended up making a pottery cup that had the word honey beautifully written on it. So we just stored that sweet memory away in our hearts. Number 4. Barry Watson and Natasha Gregson Wagner. Seventh Heaven star Barry Watson and his talented wife Natasha Gregson Wagner chose to name their precious daughter Clover Clementine, a wonderfully creative reference to both a fragrant spice and a delicious citrus fruit. The couple have lovingly shared that their little girl's distinctive first name was particularly and specially inspired by Natasha's late mother, the legendary Hollywood icon Natalie Wood, and her memorable 1965 film Inside Daisy Clover. It's a beautiful tribute that combines family history with creative flair. Number 5. Jason Bateman and Amanda Anka. When Arrested Development star Jason Bateman and his wife Amanda Anka joyfully welcomed their second child into the world, they decided to bestow upon her the charming and sweet name Maple. While the couple haven't publicly shared their specific inspiration or reasoning behind her undeniably sweet name, it's worth noting that this is actually a moniker that originally derived from a family last name, historically thought to denote and signify one who lives near or among maple trees, according to baby name experts at The Bump. Number 6. Bear Grylls and Shara Grylls. Man vs. Wild star and renowned adventurer Bear Grylls is certainly no stranger whatsoever to unique and unconventional names. After all, his own name is Bear. So when he and his supportive wife Shara welcomed their much-anticipated third son into the family, they selected a fun and playful moniker that was directly inspired by fruit. Huckleberry. This name is a reference to the small, wonderfully sweet fruit that grows naturally on wild shrubs throughout various regions. Huckleberry was an absolutely fitting and perfect choice for the son of a world-famous adventurer and survivalist. And the name was also quite likely inspired by the beloved and adventurous literary character Huckleberry Finn from Mark Twain's classic American novel. Number 7. Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love. Before his tragic and untimely passing, legendary Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain and rock musician Courtney Love welcomed their daughter Frances Bean into the world. While her elegant first name Frances was chosen as a heartfelt tribute to another influential musician, the Vaseline's Frances McKee, her distinctive and memorable middle name Bean reportedly stemmed from a much more personal and intimate reason. Kurt thought the little growing baby looked exactly like a tiny kidney bean during one of the early ultrasound appointments. It's a sweet, funny, and endearing memory captured forever in her name. Number 8. Jack Nicholson and Winnie Holman. Legendary Hollywood actor Jack Nicholson is the father of 6 children, and the daughter he shares with his ex-partner Winnie Holman was given a delightfully food-inspired name when she was born, Honey. While not a tremendous amount is publicly known about Jack and Winnie's daughter, and she tends to live a more private life away from the spotlight, she was certainly and undeniably given an incredibly sweet and memorable name that stands out. Number 9. Jamie Oliver and Jules Norton. World-renowned celebrity chef Jamie Oliver and his devoted wife Jules have consistently chosen wonderfully unique and creative names for all of their 5 children throughout the years. Reflecting thoughtfully on their distinctive name choices during an interview, Jules cheerfully admits that she was actually the creative mastermind behind most of their inventive and imaginative names. When it came time to name their eldest daughter, she was given both a food-inspired and floral-inspired moniker that's simply bursting with charm, Poppy Honey Rosie. It's a name that combines natural beauty with sweetness. They all have more than just one name because I genuinely couldn't decide on just one. I love too many beautiful names, Jules confessed with a laugh to Gurgle magazine. So we just combined them all together. So there you have it, 9 absolutely delicious and creative celebrity baby names that prove Hollywood loves to think outside the box when it comes to naming their little ones. Which name was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below.